All right, let's address the elephant in the room. These days, it feels like everyone's offended by something. You could say the sky's blue, and someone will come at you like, actually, that's offensive to people who prefer sunsets. Bitch, please. If you don't want me to head to the kitchen and make you a knuckle sandwich.
Come here. I hear you're hungry. For a knuckle sandwich.
Shut up. The word woke gets thrown around a lot. Some people wear it like a badge of honor, and others, well, they're rolling their eyes. Let's not get it twisted. Being aware of social issues is a good thing, but somewhere along the way, it feels like woke culture went from fighting for equality to trying to win arguments on Twitter. I mean, X. Sorry, Elon. So, what does it really mean to be woke? Originally, the term woke was all about staying awake to social injustices. Things like racism, sexism, and inequality. But along the way, it became just another cult. People who have miserable lives or want to feel part of a group suddenly become woke and start getting offended by stuff that doesn't even concern them. It's like a hobby now. I saw a video of a white guy dressed as a Mexican, and all the white wannabe Malcolm X people lost their minds over it. But when he actually showed the costume to real Mexicans, guess what? They loved it.
Like my costume?
I like your mustache.
Do you?
Monthly.
Does my outfit offend you?
You look, no. You look nice.
Thank you.
Suddenly, it's not just about fighting injustice. It's about finding something to argue about. It went from meaningful conversations about equality and fairness to Kevin Hart said this 12 years ago, so let's cancel him. It feels like people are just waiting to be offended by something. You could crack a harmless joke, and before you've even finished, someone's already typing up a 5-paragraph essay on why it's problematic. And don't even get me started on Twitter. It's like a battlefield where everyone's competing to be the most woke. But here's the real kicker. Most of the time, the people getting outraged aren't even the ones affected by the so-called offensive thing.
Find it offensive?
Maybe a little.
Do you think my outfit is offensive?
Are you Mexican?
No.
Yes.
You'll have a bunch of people screaming about a joke or a costume or a comment while the actual group it's aimed at either doesn't care or finds it funny. It's like people need to feel offended just to feel like they matter. What happened to laughing at ourselves? What happened to just letting things slide? Take me, for example. People say donkey to someone when they mean he's stupid. I don't get offended by it. I laugh and do the same. So to show how we are all united, I'm gonna say the N-word in 3, 2, 1. And this brings us to the all-powerful force of woke culture, cancel culture. If you don't bow down to the court of social media, boom, you're done. People are digging up tweets from a decade ago and using them to destroy careers, as if we're all supposed to be perfect from the moment we leave the womb. And there's no redemption arc. You make one mistake and you're banished forever, like the social media version of medieval exile. Kevin Hart, Dave Chappelle, J.K. Rowling. People just line up waiting for their turn to be canceled. People change. What you said or did 10 years ago may not reflect who you are now, but the woke army doesn't care. They're ready to fire at the first sign of weakness. And it's not just celebrities, it's everyday people too. You can't even share an opinion anymore without someone coming for your neck. It's like walking through a minefield of sensitivity. But here's the thing, this outrage culture is selective. Some people get canceled while others get a free pass because they're on the right side of the woke movement. It's not about holding people accountable. It's about power and control. Who gets to decide what's offensive and what's not? One person's harmless joke is another person's cause for war, and we're all supposed to keep up with these ever-changing rules. Let's talk about virtue signaling for a second. You know, when people or companies pretend to care about a social cause just to look good. They don't actually give a damn. They just want to rack up some social media points. It's like, hey, look at me. I posted a black square on Instagram, so now I'm a social justice warrior. But when it comes to real action, crickets. And don't even get me started on companies. Woke capitalism is a whole other beast. Companies will slap a rainbow flag on their logo for Pride Month, but the minute July hits, they're back to doing business with countries that violate basic human rights. It's all about optics, not genuine change. As long as it boosts their bottom line, they'll ride the woke wave. So what's the result of all this? People are scared. Scared to speak, scared to joke, scared to even have an opinion. Comedians are walking on eggshells. Writers are censoring themselves. And the average person is too afraid to post anything on social media that might be interpreted the wrong way. Creativity Creativity, humor, and even intellectual debates are being strangled by the fear of offending someone. And you know what happens when people are afraid to speak? You kill conversation. You kill learning. If people can't ask questions or make mistakes, how are they supposed to grow? How are we supposed to have real, meaningful discussions about the issues that matter? Let me give you another example. Comedy. Remember when comedians could push boundaries? They could joke about anything, and yeah, sometimes they cross the line, but that's what comedy is about. Pushing the envelope. Now, comedians like Dave Chappelle are getting slammed for making jokes that don't fit the woke narrative. It's like, since when did we decide that everything needs to be politically correct? Comedy is supposed to make us think, to challenge us, and sometimes to make us uncomfortable. That's what makes it great. But now, the only acceptable jokes are the ones that don't offend anyone. Good luck with that. Trying to please everyone is like trying to please a woman when she's on her period and pregnant at the same time. Impossible. Hi, quick break. If you like the video so far, hit that subscribe button, press like, and don't forget to click the bell so you can stay updated with more content about the stuff that makes me angry. So where does that leave us? Do we just give in and play along with the outrage? Or do we push back and demand some common sense? Here's the deal. Being woke isn't necessarily bad. Being aware of the world's injustices and fighting for equality, that's important. But when it turns into a crusade to cancel anyone who doesn't toe the line or agree with every woke talking point, we've lost the plot. We can fight for change and still have a sense of humor. At the end of the day, life's too short to be mad at everything. We've got real problems to deal with: climate change, poverty, human rights, and somehow we've turned the internet into a battlefield over the smallest things. We can do better. So next time you find yourself getting ready to fire off a tweet about how offensive something is, take a breath. Ask yourself, is it really worth the outrage, or is it just another moment to let go and laugh?